Starting off this countdown, we have Satan. People have tried to contact Satan a number of times. All encounters end badly. According to an urban legend, there's a portal to hell in Blue Ash, Ohio. It's been given the name Satan's Hollow, and it's the place where a group of Satanists like to meet and conduct rituals. Apparently at night, residents have heard screams coming from there. This cult has sacrificed a number of members for Satan. But invoking Satan is a really bad idea, even if you want to become a loyal follower to him. A number of people have been possessed by him upon doing so, like Carl V, for example, a psychology professor who became possessed by Satan after reenacting a ritual he saw himself perform in a dream. He had to get exorcised by famous priest Malachi Martin. Martin said that Carl changed physically when he was possessed. His eyes specifically looked evil, and his face contour completely changed. Martin said, and I quote, "I have smelt the breath of Satan and heard the demon's voices, cold, scratchy, dead voices carrying messages of hatred." So yeah, don't try and bother to contact Satan, please. Moving on to number 9, we have Leviathan. Leviathan is known as the Crown Prince of Hell. He is one of the 7 princes of hell as well as its gatekeeper. He also represents the sin of envy and is said to be the embodiment of chaos. In the Bible, Leviathan is described as a massive sea creature that lurks the waters. It's depicted as having a dragon's head on a sea serpent's body with lots of tentacles. So it's like a dragon, an eel, a snake, and an octopus all mashed together. In fact, some believe that the entrance of hell is in Leviathan's mouth. It's said that when he opens his mouth, a sweet smell comes out, luring people inside. When his jaw closes, you're in the depths of hell. Imagine trying to make contact with this dude and a massive sea creature just floods your home and swallows you whole. No thanks. In our 8th spot, we have Beelzebub. So Beelzebub's name translates to Lord of the Flies. As a result, he is often depicted as an evil fly or as a man with wings. In Christian texts, the name Beelzebub is often associated with the devil himself. They would alternate between using this name and Satan. He is considered one of the 7 princes of hell, and he is associated with the sin gluttony. In other texts, he is described as the lieutenant of hell, second in power only to Satan. Now you may be like, oh, he's just a fly, big deal, I own a fly swatter. Well, he has actually possessed a number of people in real life, including women from the Salem witch trials. Story goes that he possessed the souls of those who were accused of being witches. When they were set on fire, swarms of flies exited their mouths. Over the years, he possessed a number of other individuals, including Annalise Michel, who underwent 67 exorcisms to try and get Beelzebub and other demons out of her body, Nicole Aubry, who was possessed by 30 spirits, and Father Louis Godfredi. He was also possessed by Beelzebub and ended up getting burned at the stake in 1611. Enough said, don't try and make contact with him. Moving on to number 7, we have Astaroth. This dude is the first prince of thrones as well as the treasurer of hell. He's depicted as an ugly man riding upon a dragon while holding a snake in his left hand. Others say he's this half-white, half-black humanoid. Either way, he is terrifying and should not be messed with. Now, this demon is at its strongest on Fridays from 10 to 11 p.m. Meaning if you summon him at that time, not only are you stupid, but you're pretty much a goner. Now, if you do summon him, it's said not to stand too close to him because he emits a foul odor. Not only that, but he is the ruler of 40 legions of souls and spirits, which he can use as a weapon to attack you. In our 6th spot, we have the Behemoth. And just like his name, this guy is massive. So he is usually depicted as an elephant walking on its hind legs while holding its swollen, protruding stomach. Other times he can appear as a hippo or even a crocodile. He is also known as the devil cupbearer and serves as a cook for Satan, so he brings him his food and wine. In fact, the Satanic Bible describes Behemoth as the Hebrew version of Satan. I don't know about you, but I personally would not mess around with an anthropomorphic animal. Not only that, but when dealing with humans, he has the power to create absolute chaos in their lives. So like every other demon on this list, don't mess with him. We are now at our 5th and halfway mark with the Wendigo. The Wendigo is said to be the most feared monster in all of Algonquin folklore. Now, the Wendigo has been depicted in a number of ways. Most people agree that he is super tall and gaunt with antlers and its skin pulled tightly over its bones. Upon eating humans, it would grow in size, however, it will never lose its gaunt appearance. In one origin story, it's believed that this creature evolved from a lost hunter, whose hunger and the extreme cold weather drove him to eat other humans. Now, Now, it is considered a terrifying flesh-eating demon that can possess people and turn them into human-eating monsters. A number of people have experienced real-life encounters with the Wendigo. One man was chased through the forest by this beast and was left severely injured. Another man went out looking for him and never returned home. His body was found days later, severely mutilated. Officers said the markings on his body were not from any animal that they are familiar with. In our fourth spot, we have Azazel. In Jewish legends, Azazel is a demon or evil spirit who sent a scapegoat bearing sins. In fact, his name is said to translate into scapegoat. The ritual was carried out by the high priest who transferred all the sins of the citizens to the scapegoat and sent it to the wilderness. Most Jewish literature describe him as having a red appearance, like a demon, with yellow eyes, and wearing a goat's skull. Whereas in other texts, he is described as having 7 heads, 14 faces, hands, and feet like a man, with 6 wings on the right and 6 wings on the left of his back. Okay, stop right there. 7 heads, 14 faces? No, that's not okay. That is nightmare fuel, and I would drop dead just by looking at that thing. Moving on to number 3, we have Zozo. I've talked about this demon before and just how dangerous summoning it can be. The thing is, a number of people still summon it, but by complete accident. Zozo is a malicious demon that will trick Ouija board users. It will pretend to be a lost soul or the spirit of a deceased loved one. When you try to make contact with it, it will possess you or make your life a living hell. So he is said to target mentally unstable and vulnerable Ouija board users. In fact, over the years, he has been linked to a number of murders and suicides all over the world. Like I said, you might be using an Ouija board thinking you're talking to your dead grandma or something, when in reality, it's Zozo messing with you and ready to take control of you. And once he latches onto you or you welcome him into your home, it's very hard to get rid of him. In our second spot, we have Bathsheba. If you've seen The Conjuring, then chances are you are familiar with this demon. It's the demon that was haunting the Perron family, who the movie The Conjuring was based on. The movie might have exaggerated some elements, but Bathsheba is a real demon that haunted this family. Bathsheba Sherman used to live on their property in Harrisville, Rhode Island back in the mid-1800s. She was a Satanist that killed a number of neighbors. When she died, her spirit latched onto the house and killed several of the homeowners. Some drowned, a few hung themselves in the attic, another one was murdered. Now, apparently Ed and Lorraine Warren did exorcise this demon, amen to that, so don't try summoning her, okay? Watch The Conjuring to find out why that's a very, very bad idea. And in our number 1 spot today, we have Asmodeus. Now, this dude is the definition of horrifying. Just take a look at him. He's depicted as the chest and head of a man spitting fire with 2 heads sticking out of his body. So he has a total of 3 heads. One is obviously the man spitting fire, then the other head is of a sheep, and the other is the head of a bull. Then he's depicted as riding a lion with wings, but the lion has a weird long serpent neck, and he's got legs of a chicken. Now, tell me that that's not nightmare fuel. Not only this, but in some texts he's referred to as the demon of lust. He's known to twist people's sexual desires, and those that are fooled by him will be sentenced to an eternity in the 2nd level of hell.
Starting off this list, in our number 10 spot, we have Baal. Baal is ranked as the first of the Ars Goetia, which I obviously had to look up because I had no idea what that was. If you're like me and aren't exactly up to date on your demonology, as explained by the demonicparadisefandom.com, quote, the Ars Goetia, also known as the 72 Pillars, is a group comprised of 72 demons with exemplary strength and their own legions. They are listed in the grimoire Lesser Key of Solomon. Okay, cool. That was easy to understand. So, Baal is the first on that, and he is the principal king of hell. It is said that he governs somewhere from 66 to 250 legions of demons and spirits, so he's clearly a workaholic. In grimoire tradition, it is said that Baal appears in the form of a man, a cat, a toad, or different combinations of those with the appearance of a king or a soldier, but with the heads of these creatures, and on a set of spider legs. So, I'm just saying, the guy's not easy to miss. I feel like that's pretty clear exactly who that is. In our number 9 spot today, we have Amon. Amon is the Great Marquis of Hell, and he is the 7th of the demons of the Ars Goetia, which thankfully we now know all about. It is said that he is in charge of governing 40 different legions of demons, but his favorite thing to do with humans is making them fall in love with each other. He is also known to settle debates, and you might be sitting there thinking that this guy actually sounds pretty cool and nice, but despite these cool, nice things he enjoys, he is anything but nice. Just like he can make people fall in love, he can can do the exact opposite as well. He can cause people to turn against each other and can even will someone to harm the innocent, which is terrifying. To make that thought slightly less horrifying, it is said he doesn't usually do this for no reason, and usually only does this when attacked or if someone is standing in his way of completing a mission. Still not good, but I suppose that's better than just random acts of violence. It is said that Amon appears as a wolf with a snake's tail and that he possesses the ability to breathe fire. Or he will appear as a man with dog teeth who is inside of a raven. I don't know, ask him about that one, not me. In our number 8 spot today we have Asmodeus. Asmodeus is the king of demons and earthly spirits and is often referred to as one of the 7 princes of hell. He also represents one of the 7 deadly sins, lust. Before becoming a demon in his former life, he was an angel who was known as Asmodel, the angel of April and patience who rules the zodiac sign Taurus. But of course we are here to talk about his demon form, which is said to appear as either a ruthless, brutal monster or as a kind of mischievous demon that is playful and quick thinking. Honestly, I'm not sure which form would be worse to encounter. The monster would be scary, but a little annoying demon would be so frustrating. For the most terrifying exit I've ever heard of, it is said that Asmodeus will cut himself into pieces and immediately after disappear. In our number 7 spot today we have Leviathan. Leviathan isn't fully a demon, but he is even a step above as he is a primordial beast of darkness and chaos, and he is one of the 7 princes of hell, as well as its gatekeeper. He also represents one of the deadly sins, envy. The entrance to hell is actually said to be Leviathan's mouth, known as the Hellmouth. The exact origins of Leviathan aren't exactly clear, but in the end it is agreed that he fell from God's grace and became the beast of the chaotic oceans that cannot be tamed by man or beast. So Leviathan is the beast of the oceans, Behemoth is the beast of the earth, and Ziz is the beast of the air. After the war in heaven, these 3 beasts all turned on each other and then threw all of what they govern and those who live in it into absolute madness. This forced God to step in and separate these 3 beasts so that they didn't completely destroy the earth. It is said that if anyone tries to escape the inferno of hell, Leviathan will devour them and suck them inside of his stomach. Here they will remain forever to be burned in the flames of the body. In our number 6 spot today we have Mammon. Mammon is another one of those fallen angels turned demon and is often associated with the sin of greed. Because of this, Mammon is the noble demon lord of cupidity, richness, abundance, prosperity, wealth, and injustice. It is said that even during his time in heaven, he spent more time looking at the golden roads rather than God himself because he was already obsessed with gold and riches. Actually, it is reported that his obsession with the gold was so serious that his fall from heaven wasn't really because he was passionate about Lucifer's rebellion, he was just too focused on wealth, and this was enough for him to be cast out by Archangel Gabriel. It is said that Mammon is the creator of alchemy, and he is the one who bestowed the knowledge to humans of what alchemical compounds are needed to make gold. It is said that because he gave this top secret information out, it led to the creation of these sort of humanoid creatures that possess great power and strength, which indirectly makes him the creator of these creatures. In our number 5 spot today we have Azazel. Azazel is one of the chief governors of the Grigori, which is a group of fallen angels who married female mortals, which then produced the Nephilim, which were these scary giant creatures that ate mortals. In the beginning, Azazel started as an eater of sins, but the more sins he consumed, the hungrier he became, and this led to him not being satiated by the sins he was receiving. The reason he was cast from heaven is because he taught men how to make swords, knives, shields, and breastplates, which then led to humans being corrupted and thinking that they were invisible. It is said that the humans went so far that they were planning to raid heaven, and this is when God told Raphael to bind Azazel's hands and feet, open up a hole in the desert, and toss him in, casting him into darkness. This worked, and for a long time Azazel remained in prison. It was so bad that the jagged rocks near him tore his physical body away, and this left him as a mass of darkness covered in mouths and eyes. Later freed by Lucifer, he went on to join the demons in hell. In our number 4 spot today we have Beelzebub. Beelzebub is a former seraph who turned into a high-ranking demon. He is one of the princes of hell and also oversees the Order of the Fly. He, Satan, and Lucifer form the triarchy of hell, which makes him one of the supreme monarchs of the underworld. As a seraphim, he was under the archangel Gabriel, but he was one of the very first angels to fall. He is often confused with Satan, and while the two names can technically be interchanged, they are two separate entities, and in some writings, they even disagree at times. Beelzebub is associated with pride and gluttony, and he has also been held responsible for demonic possessions throughout the years. Unfortunately, flies are a very important thing for him, as it is said that he can take the form of them. Now, his main job is to rule over the fallen angels as well as all of the demons that are originally from hell. In our number 3 spot today we have Paimon. Paimon is the 9th pillar of the Ars Goetia, and he is a king of hell that is most obedient to Lucifer. He is normally depicted as a strong man with a face that has softer features. He wears a crown, and he is seen riding a dromedary, which is a type of one-humped camel, usually trained for riding or races. Before him, there is often a whole group of demons and ghouls who are in the shape of mortal men, playing instruments like trumpets and cymbals, which is of course meant to give Paimon a grand entrance to wherever he is on the way to. He is manipulative, malicious, and honestly pretty hostile. He inflicts psychological, physical, and spiritual torment, and will even go as far as to recreate traumatic events or just give terrifying visions and nightmares. His voice is so loud and roaring that whoever invokes him has to command him to alter his speech, or else he'll continue speaking at an ear-splitting volume, and he won't be able to be heard or understood. If he's not causing you torment, it is said that he can tell you all of the mysteries of the earth though. I'm still not convinced it's worth the risk, however. In our number 2 spot today we have Belial. Belial is the 68th spirit in the Goetia, and he is one of the crowned princes of hell, but he is also known as Hell's brightest fire, Evil's match, and the king of evil, so I think it's safe to say that he's pretty terrifying. He is mighty and powerful, and this is likely due to the fact that he was created right after Lucifer, which is of course part of the reason why Belial belongs to his order. Belial was once an angel, but after his fall from grace he became a demon of lies and guilt, and he possesses the ability to induce any type of sin, but his favorite is the sin of lust. Belial is so evil that it's said he started a civil war in hell. While still an angel just before his fall, in the War of Heaven, Belial slayed numerous angels, and as a demon, just in general, he would slay huge demonic armies that attempted to make any moves against him or any of the other 7 great kings. In our number 1 spot today we have Belphegor. Belphegor is a fallen angel, and after his fall from heaven, he has now become the demon lord presiding over the sin of sloth. It is said that as Belphegor served as a lieutenant from hell, he was sent to Earth on a mission by Satan. While he was on Earth, he grew quite fond of Paris, France, and it is said that because of this affinity, he now lurks deep within the catacombs under the city. Belphegor can be invoked by mortals who are wishing to find fame and wealth, usually through as little effort as possible. But these wishes are of course doomed to fail because of the demon's true mission to lure the dreamers into sloth. Through the failure of whatever was provided to the dreamer by Belphegor, he then draws them into procrastination and idle dreaming rather than act.
Number 10. Pocum. There are more than a few reasons to fear cemeteries, though I personally find them pretty peaceful. During the day anyways. But many believe, and rightly so, that spirits of both good and evil walk among the stones and sleeping corpses. In the Indonesian and Malaysian tradition, one such spirit is actually a demon named Pocum, and you don't want to run into him. He is pale, shriveled with no eyes, and his body drips with decay as he floats around. Pocum is a result of a tormented spirit who is trapped on Earth. In the tradition of Muslim burials, a shroud must cover the body and be tied in 3 places: the head, the neck, and the feet. Then, after 46 days, the ties are to be removed so the soul can be set free. But if they forget, then the soul is trapped. As a result, the soul turns into a bitter, tormented demon and will spend its time on Earth attacking anyone it encounters. Should you ever encounter one though, fall to the ground and play dead, or run down a long road until you're out of sight. Peace, demon. Alright, number 9, Legion. What's more terrifying than one demon, you ask? Well, obviously more than one. In fact, lots and lots of demons. In the Bible, in the Gospel of Mark 5:9, a man approached Jesus and claimed he was afflicted by a demon. When Jesus asked the man, "What is thy name?" he answered, "My name is Legion, for we are many." Like, what an epic way to present yourself, you know? Sounded like things were pretty crowded in the poor guy. Somehow this guy got possessed by over 2,000 demons, and when Jesus expelled them from the man, he sent their spirits into a flock of nearby pigs. The pigs then ran into the Sea of Galilee and drowned. Number 8, Mananagal. This creature hails from the Philippines and is absolutely terrifying to behold. I totally said the name wrong, I know. There was just I couldn't find it on the internet, guys, just so you know. I welcome correction, as always. A beautiful woman by day, the demon transforms into evil incarnate when the sun descends. Her back expands into large withered wings, her fangs extend, her fingers grow long, razor-sharp claws. Sounds a little like a vampire, right? Except for the fact that she has to sever her torso from her legs and trails her innards as she flies. Ugh. But during the day, she feeds on the blood of men she seduces into a trap, and pregnant women at night feasting on their wounds. She's literally horrible 24/7, but the definition of evil never sleeps. She just gets worse. But there is a way to best her. If you can find the lower half of her body, cover it in mash, salt, or garlic, then you have a chance of destroying her. She has to reunite with the lower half of her body by sunrise, otherwise she will be destroyed. Beyond that, carry garlic, pungent spices, daggers, tails of stingrays, and holy water to protect yourself. Otherwise, she's a coming and nothing on earth can stop her. Number 7, Asog. This demon originates from the ancient Sumerian legend and is so terrifying to behold that his mere presence could boil fish. In the Sumerian mythological poem, Asog was described as being huge with 3 legs, 3 arms, with no neck, and more than a few eyes covering his body. His skin is practically indestructible, which served him well as his main mission was to defeat the god Naruto. In order to do so, he even created an army made of rock people. Thwarted by Naruto, Asog turned to tormenting humanity. He hunts humans and creates disease and plague upon mankind. He would cover a human like a piece of cloth, causing headaches, fevers, and a violent sickness and making them entirely too weak to survive. Maybe he was responsible for a certain pandemic. You were thinking it, I'm just saying it. Number 6, Jai-Kaninki. This demon hails from the Japanese Buddhism tradition and directly translates to human-eating ghosts. So yeah, pretty much scary right out of the gate there. Humans are their main source of food, though they at least wait until you're dead. They are the spirits of greedy, selfish, and impious souls and appear as human when seen for the most part. Their features are monstrous and have sharp teeth they use to tear the skin from the bones of the dead. As you would expect, they look like rotting corpses themselves, save their glowing yellow eyes. But variants on the lore say that they are actually able to disguise themselves as regular humans during the day, but at night they must feast. Though they have to eat human flesh to survive, they don't enjoy it, but it is the only thing that can slake their eternal hunger. So perhaps it is not so much a case of being afraid of them while you're alive, but the fear of turning into one when you die that makes these creatures so grotesque. Number 5, Abaddon. Abaddon, aka the Destroyer. Abaddon is the 5th angel who fell from heaven and was given the key to the abyss. When the apocalypse comes, he will open it and unleash a terrifying horde of locusts. But not just any locusts. They have a sting like scorpions and only a hunger for human flesh of those who do not have a sign of the Lord upon them. They are not allowed to kill humans, only torture them. For 5 months, leaving the people to seek death but unable to die. The locusts will also look horrendous. They will have human faces. If you're having trouble picturing that, just remember those cockroaches from Cats. They'll also be dolled up in armor, have teeth like lions, and have long, flowing hair. Abaddon is their king, so if you thought the locusts sound terrifying, then so is he by default. He's a good reason to carry some intense bug spray with you at all times. Number 4, Moloch. I honestly don't know which is more terrifying, Moloch himself or the worship of him in general. Moloch and the worship of Moloch is condemned a few times in the Bible for one big reason. Though many religions are not strangers to human sacrifice, Moloch asks for a very specific kind from the younger generation. Many newborns were offered up as sacrifices to God in order to ensure a promise for increased fertility, either for that person or the land. Yeah, guys, let's just give up the kid that we just gave birth to so we can have more kids. Like, no logic. Anyways, the bull-like statue depictions of him popular in the Bronze Age had 7 chambers, one of which was meant for the brutal aforementioned sacrifice. They would heat the structure from within and then place the offering inside and beat the drums so they couldn't hear the screaming. Yeah, this one's pretty bad. Number 3, Asmodeus. Here we go, we're ending strong with our top 3. Asmodeus is one of the most powerful of the infernal demons of hell. You have heard of the town of Sodom, essentially the OG Sin City. That was all his work, and he is super proud of it. Originally a man, Asmodeus is known for guiding citizens toward depravity by giving them irresistible temptation after the next. He guided the king of Sodom's hand in destroying the city, taking it so far that God's wrath came down upon them. Because he was so corrupt in life, Asmodeus became a demon in death due to his unquenchable lust. That's a promotion. For him, I guess. Number 2, Beelzebub. So hard to think he's scary when he's got such a fun name to say. Sounds like bubblegum. Anyways. Who better to be number 2 than Satan's right-hand man, Beelzebub, Lord of the Flies, one of the 7 princes of hell. He's associated with the figure of Baal, a former fertility god with an unquenchable hunger. He is said to be one of the most powerful demons of the 7, Lucifer obviously being number 1. He is said to represent the sin of gluttony. He is known to devour all and anything he can in the form of plagues. In religions prior to Catholicism, Beelzebub was associated with sacrifices. Wherever blood was spilt in the name of worship, he was there. He also likes to possess people and torment them, so if you're afraid of possession overall, I would definitely do everything you can to avoid this guy. After all, he's one step away from being Satan. And number 1, the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. I feel like the title really explains it all as to why these guys are in our number 1 spot. They are literally going to bring about the end of the world. Satan doesn't do that, they do. Conquest will arrive first, riding a white horse, though he's no knight in shining armor, I will say. His arrival is detailed in Revelation as a man wearing a crown and carrying a bow. Also described as a charismatic leader with unlimited ability to conquer. Next up, war with a large sword and a red horse. He has the power of turning even lovers to war and can make people kill each other on a dime. Following that, famine, which is always an inevitable factor of war. Last but certainly not least, death, who will arrive on a pale green horse. Besides the obvious reasons these demons are terrifying, you can safely bet that they may already be at work. Considering the amount of war the world has already seen and continues to see to this day, these demons might be far closer to being more human than we may imagine them to be.